Hello, everyone, and welcome to Q4 2022 Career Lab. I am so excited that you are here. Career Lab, Collab Lab is the best thing in the world, but Career Lab just takes it up to that magical level. So I'm super excited to share it with you. But first, let's hear from our founders to tell you what you get to look forward to.
Yeah. Stacy, should we rock, paper, scissors, see who goes first?
Sure. No, I'll let you go on. You go ahead.
Yeah. We all just you just completed your 8 weeks of Collab Lab, so congratulations on that, first of all. Well done. I've attended all the demos that have happened so far. There's one team that's going to take an extra week to finish some stuff up, do their last demo next week. So I'm going to attend that one then. But yeah, great work over the last 8 weeks. And Career Lab, I don't know, a year and a half ago or something, we decided that we kind of had a meeting as a leadership group about what our goals are, and the goal is really to get you into jobs, right? And Collab Lab does a good job of helping you get sort of skill up on the collaboration skills, but Career Lab is our effort to just help you kind of do better, get the interviews and then do better in the interviews, right? So we got a bunch of activities that we've kind of figured out over the last several times we've done this that we think should help you tell your story and just get some practice on how to actually land the job, because that's the whole point of all this, right? So I'll stop and let Stacy continue.
Excellent. I second all of those things Andrew just said. But kind of like you were saying, you spend the 8 weeks in Collab Lab working on a team of engineers just like you would in the real world. In fact, a lot of the processes we built into the Collab Lab are kind of things that we do at Zapier as well. So you worked just like we work. So great job. The next hurdle is kind of figuring out how to talk about that in the sense of it being a real job in the interviews that you do, because this is going to be a really golden experience for you to talk about in the interviews that you're going to be doing coming up. So Career Lab is a really great time to practice all of those in a very safe space where you're free to say something awkward and learn from it. So don't feel embarrassed, do your best. We're here to help you grow. It's a really great time to kind of talk to your fellow collabs, even those that were outside of your team, to figure out how they're saying things, how they're positioning their Collab Lab experience. So continue collaborating on learning how to talk about these things and saying the words out loud. This is your time. Okay, one last thing. As is the core program at Collab Lab, Career Lab is completely built on all of y'all's feedback. So when you're going through the program, if something seems really great or not great or a waste of your time or particularly helpful, tell us all of those things. We refine it a little bit every time to make it everything that you need to be successful. So be loud about any feedback you have, because we live and breathe that feedback. So thank you. And I'll pass it over to Shelly.
So everything they just said, 100%. Just so you know a bit about me, if you haven't met me yet, I was in Q1 2022. So I finished what you guys just finished in March of this year. And it was an amazing experience. I learned a ton. I learned stuff that boot camp can't remotely prepare you for. And just what you said, Stacy, was so perfect in telling you how to talk about it. So Collab Lab taught you the skills, in a more real life setting, but how in the world do you talk about it? So that's what Career Lab is. And that's why I'm involved, because I credit it completely with landing my dream job. I don't just mean getting a job. I mean landing the job that I wanted. And I know that I sound like, an insane cheerleader, but it's 100% true. You're going to get to meet one of our volunteers who did a mock interview for my cohort, and I channeled her. She just became like a hero beyond belief. I'm talking about Jen. You guys know that. And you'll get to see her too. But I just channeled her, and it completely changed how interviewing went. There's nothing worse than tech interviews. They're not fun. They're so hard until you just get that something, that little something, whether it's confidence or a lack of fear because you realize that it's this weird hoop you have to jump through. I don't know what it was, but it clicked. And so I came back. When Stacy asked for volunteers, I want to do something for Career Lab. I don't care what it is. And I took the whole thing over. So thanks for that. Anyway, so without further ado, let's jump right in. Hopefully you've all looked at the repo. And there we go. My screen is working. Yep. So if you don't have the repo, get with one of us. We'll get it to you. No problem. So it's just a calendar. So if you scroll down, I'm going to throw some of these things off my screen. Sorry, I can't see anything behind all of your faces. There we go. So it's basically broken into 2 weeks. The first week is getting your LinkedIn together, right? Telling your story when you don't get to talk because people are just going to be looking at your LinkedIn. So how do you showcase yourself and present yourself there? Second week's the interview. You have the skills, you've done all the stuff. How do you talk about it? And the second week is definitely a little chunkier. So the way to go through this, the easiest way, this is right now. There's nothing on this link that's probably interesting because we're here right now. But what we've got is 3 types of sessions. We call them sync and async. This year we tweaked it and we have the sync star. Sync means there is a scheduled time and Stacy or I will be on Zoom with you. Async is just what it says. Do it whenever it's convenient for you on your own, probably. And then this sync star, and it's an asterisk. This is when you're going to be meeting live with someone, but we're not scheduling it for you. You're responsible for scheduling it. So that's either with another collabie. We've paired you up with somebody not in your cohort so that you can talk to somebody new and see what that feels like in a safe space. Or one of our mentors or volunteers to go over your LinkedIn to do a practice job fit interview and to do a practice technical interview. So you need to reach out with them. And if you haven't done it already, try and do it today to start getting those on the calendar, right? So that's what the sync star is. It's sync, but it's not with me. Okay, so a couple of things I want to show you. You can go through this at your own pace, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. The async stuff, like what to include on your LinkedIn profile, will have a bunch of different stuff. There'll be a little bit of reading, a couple of videos, a couple of examples. So you just go through that. There's some pointers on what you should do after you see this video. This video series is fantastic, by the way. You may have spent some time on LinkedIn in boot camp or in a different professional career, but you're going to get something new out of this, I guarantee. So go through those videos and then flesh out the parts of your LinkedIn that may not, be meaty enough yet. So that's what that looks like when they're async. There's a how to tell your story. This time you're going to watch a video. Lisa Smith has recorded this session. It was a live session, I think, last year. And then some prompts for you to work on for yourself to tell your own story. Wednesday's fantastic. This is a sync session. On that day, you're going to meet with an actual recruiter from Zapier who will answer questions, give you feedback, give you pointers of what a recruiter is looking for when they see your LinkedIn page or when they first look at your resume. So that one with Randy is worth $1 million. And then sometime starting midweek, earlier if that works for you, but by Saturday at the latest, you're actually going to meet with someone who's been assigned to you. And again, if you haven't looked at this yet, you should be on this list. If you're not, get with me immediately so I can fix that. Sorry, my scrolly mouse just lagged. So you've been paired up with someone who is going to actually look at your LinkedIn and go over it with you and give you some feedback. This is great. This could use some more. Have you thought about this? If you're a career transitioner, and I think most of you are, you have one vision of what it looks like to present yourself professionally. I was a teacher, and what we say on a LinkedIn for a teacher is completely different than what we would show and showcase for a developer. So this will be a great, valuable way to just get feedback on your individual stuff. So your partner is there. Reach out to them on Slack or email. I think you still have to go to Slack to get their email. And then that's week 1. That wraps up week 1. And it's a little bit shorter. So don't wait till the end. Make sure you get all of it done because week 2 is the chunky one. It's also a lot of fun. So we're going to kick that week off on Saturday with another sync session called Watch Our Mentors Interview Each Other. This is all the magic. We're going to have a mock interview with an interviewer and an interviewee, both for a behavioral job fit interview. And I haven't put that in there yet. So just found one thing to put on my to-do list, update that part of the repo. But it's going to be Stacy interviewing someone, and then Jen, my hero, will be interviewing someone for the tech. So you'll get to see that right away. And this is one of those things where we said we improve with feedback. This used to be later in the session because we wanted you to like practice on your own first, but we realized that you should see what it looks like right from the bat, right off the start. So that's how we're going to start week 2. And then these are all async or your own schedule thing. So what to ask your interviewers. This is Andrew's, right? Yep. So you'll watch a video of Andrew talking about that. Super valuable stuff of the interview process is not just them testing you. You get to test them. And this part of the process is what got me the job that I wanted, if that makes sense. Like I learned things of how to ask questions, to find those red flags, to weed out things, too far, that I, didn't want to work in a place that did X or Y, and how to ask the questions in a nice way, right? How to ask those questions to share what was important with me and to kind of get at what the culture was like. So that was super valuable. Then you will do the how to rock the tech interview. Sorry, my mouse stuff is just wonky today. And there's absolutely nothing there. More stuff to fix. More links to fix. So what you're going to do, I wonder if that's just a typo, because the take home is right down here. You guys are actually going to do another mini project. It's been started for you. So again, you're not starting from scratch, but follow this link to the repo. You're going to do a little React project for using an art museum API, and you're going to build it just like you would a take home for a job interview. Right? They'll give you a task they want you to complete in a fixed amount of time. Don't spend a lot of time, 2 or 3 hours on that one, right? Just get done what you can get done. And then you will pair up with, sorry, you think I know how to use a laptop by now. Okay, you have another partner here. So this is a mentor. We have let's see, I think everyone's done it this time, either been in the interviewee chair or the interviewer chair, but they will do a mock interview with you. So you'll get to demo the work that you did, and then they'll ask you some technical questions. You will have, once I update the repo, sample questions. You'll have an idea about what to expect in that. But the key thing is it's not a real interview, right? You don't have, like Stacy said, you don't have to be afraid of saying the wrong thing or being awkward. And you can get some feedback again on your responses. And that's just going to make it feel so much better. So if you've had technical interviews yet, and that's been your nemesis, you're going to learn and get to practice a bunch of things to make that feel safer, more comfortable, more natural. Because that's key, being, authentic, being you. It's just a really hard place to be you. So that's going to help. Let's see, I sort of went out of sync date-wise. Starting that Saturday, anytime that weekend, there's a pair interview practice. And this one, you've been paired up with another Collabby. This is a great opportunity for you just to talk to somebody who you haven't talked to before, but is a peer just like you. So you can get some great feedback because you're both just thinking about interviews right now. It's on your mind a lot, and being able to talk. And I'm talking from my own experience. When I did my pair, we shared our responses and talked about what we liked about each other's responses, what we disliked, what we wanted to say, and we gave each other ideas. We came away with so much new stuff in a very low risk environment, because it's just like talking to a friend instead of talking to an interviewer. Okay. Job fit, these two are the same thing, but there's also the behavioral interview. So you've been paired up with somebody who's going to do that type of interview with you too. So go down, find your name. Again, if I messed something up, because I did do this manually, let me know, because I want to make sure everybody is partnered up starting today. We have a special session too that sort of rounds out the week that's not about interviewing, but it's something that often gets missed. And it's called Navigating Finances During a Career Change. And it has nothing there. I'll have a link there before. You can find any of these things you want to see right away. You can find other cohorts too, because we've got previous cohorts earlier this year and last year. We have all the videos up. But Lucas is a certified financial planner, and he works with tech people in particular. And he's going to share a session with you of sort of what to expect, because maybe you're getting a bigger salary than you've ever had before. For me, I was a teacher, so I always worked in the public sector. Now this is my first job in the private sector, and they want me to buy stock, the employee stock purchase plan. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know what that was. So things like that are what Luke's going to talk about. So that's a super valuable one, and that's going to be a Thursday evening for most of us, right? And then the very last session to wrap it up in 2 weeks, which is kind of crazy, is the graduation. And it's not a graduation. You can feel free to wear a cap and gown. That would be super fun. Maybe I should share a good background for everyone. But the key for that is for us to celebrate another achievement you've made, another commitment you've made, and to get your feedback on how it went. We can talk about Collab Lab, we can talk about Career Lab, we can talk about anything you want. It's just a way to wrap it all up with a big bow and to celebrate what you've done over the last 2 months plus 2 weeks. So I think I hit all the key points. A whole bunch of chat. Anything I need to?
No things you need to address in there.
Excellent. Okay, let me stop sharing. And there's your faces again. Oh, hi, new people came too. So any questions right off the bat that didn't get handled in the chat?
It's a lot of information all at once, right? But it's all documented really, hopefully clearly in the GitHub repo. But if it's not clear to you, that's totally fine. And just Shelly is, or any of us will answer questions about what you're supposed to do in what order and all those kinds of things, what's expected.
The biggest to do right now, A, is get started on week 1, but B, go through all of those sync asterisk, sync star ones, and make sure you get your meetings scheduled with all the other Collab Lab folks.
I just sent a DM to all my job fit people to get those hours scheduled that week of December 5th, because it's kind of a busy week for me. So slots are going to be precious over there.
That's a great idea too. Actually, other volunteers, I see your faces and names if you want to do that. And then Collabbies, keep an eye on Slack, right? I don't know how prioritized you have your notifications, but these 2 weeks are going to go by super fast. So just keep an eye on the different channels to make sure you don't miss anything, and use it to communicate, right? DM us, put stuff in the thread if you think it'd be useful for more people. Keep doing exactly what you were doing in your other channels.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. Like as you're learning things over the course of these 2 weeks, or if you want to process a session that you went to or something, go into the cohort channel and just let people know whatever your insight was, or if you have questions or anything, just try to do that stuff in the open, just like you've been doing the last 8 weeks, so that everyone can benefit from it.
And I think this might be a record, or the first time ever, is everyone in all 4 cohorts signed up for Career Lab. So that can be your Career Lab channel. It's the biggest cohort ever.
Also, I want to point out too that it's like everybody else who's gone through Career Lab has done their LinkedIn update. So it's not cheating to go look to see what other people put. So use other folks as inspiration. People have done it.
Yep. Excellent point. I did the same for sure.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of people ask, how to represent their Collab Lab experience on LinkedIn. So definitely go back and look at, recent people who've been through the program and see how they do it.
And then connect with them.
Yeah.
Build your network. Awesome. So if that's all the questions, good luck. Reach out. Have fun. You're going to rock it.
I love this. Yes, you get started right now on the first week of the curriculum, doing LinkedIn, scheduling your meetings, and posting in the channel if you have questions.
So there is a question actually that's really good that just got posted. We don't have a dedicated Slack channel just for Career Lab because it ends up being sort of sometimes people come in and out, or some people come from previous cohorts. Might be something to think about though. But right now I would use the Learning Together or your own cohort Q4. Those would probably be the two best ones.
Yeah. I mean, I think the cohort Q4 is probably a good place since everyone's already in that channel. And, you know, I guess most of the mentors, I guess actually, that's a good point. Like not all the Career Lab volunteers are in that channel, but
right.
We could tag people into it.
Yeah, and we'll keep, the three of us will keep an eye on those channels too. So if we think somebody needs to see it, we'll pull them in for sure.
Cool.
Okay, great. Everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend. And
thanks.
We'll see you around.
Thank
Bye.
you guys.
Bye, everyone.
everybody.
Good luck.